When most of us are busy thinking about work, salaries, insurance, or long-term plans for the future, the Hadza people of Tanzania live by a very different rhythm. Across the savanna surrounding Lake Eyasi, they do not rely on money or accumulation. Each day they step into nature to hunt, gather, and search for whatever the land is willing to provide. For the Hadza, survival is not built around distant plans. It begins with footprints on the ground, a bow in the hand, and knowledge passed down through countless generations. The Hadza begin their mornings very early. Before sunlight fully spreads across the savanna, the men sit together checking their bows and arrows before the hunt. They straighten the arrow shafts, inspect the arrowheads. Pull the bowstrings again and again before carrying them into the wilderness. This is not simply careful preparation before a hunt, it is also a responsibility. Every arrow carries effort, experience, and the responsibility of the hunter himself. Out in the vast savanna, even a small mistake can allow prey to disappear, meaning hours of tracking beneath the brutal heat may end without bringing food back for the community. After leaving the camp, they move silently through the savanna. The Hadza do not only look down at the ground to read tracks. Their eyes constantly scan bushes, low branches, and dead trees ahead. Because in this land, not every prey animal leaves footprints in the sand. Some hunters survive by disappearing completely into their surroundings. A slight movement appears among the dry grass. A snake lies almost perfectly still. Its skin blends so completely with the earth that it nearly disappears into the savanna itself. But the Hadza spot it immediately through the trained eyes of experienced hunters. The moment the snake is seen, one man instantly pulls back his bowstring and fires the first arrow toward the bush where the animal is hiding. The others quickly move in to surround the area. They do not stand too close. For the Hadza, snakes are among the animals they approach with extreme caution. Even though snakes can become easier to spot once exposed, they can also strike back at any moment if cornered. One successful bite can have very serious consequences. That is why the Hadza almost never rush forward after the first shot. Instead, they continue firing several more arrows into the snake to ensure it can no longer fight back. This is also why during snake hunts, the Hadza often gift many arrows to this particular prey. Only when every movement has completely stopped do they move closer to handle the animal.
Look at these, look at the fangs, look at this. Can you see that? Beautiful skin, camouflaged. And they'll still move their body for a long time after they're dead.
However, the Hadza hunting journey does not revolve only around large or dangerous prey. Throughout their movement across the savanna, they rarely ignore any food source nature provides. As they pass a large tree, they discover a beehive hidden deep inside rotten wood. The group immediately stops. One man starts a small fire below the tree, then uses smoke to drive the bees away from the hive. The Hadza do this very carefully. They do not completely destroy the hive, but create only enough smoke for the bees to leave temporarily. Once the bees fly out, pieces of the hive are removed. The Hadza eat the honey directly along with the wax and even the bee larvae inside. For them, honey is not only a favorite food but also a critical source of energy during long hunts beneath the dry heat of East Africa. Continuing their journey, they discover a small squirrel hiding inside the bushes. Even though it is tiny, the Hadza do not ignore it. After a short chase, they catch it and quickly prepare it on the spot.
Hornbills. They're beautiful big birds with big beaks. The Hadza will hunt and eat anytime. Animal skins are used from a variety of animals. Not all are ideal.
Not long afterward, another small bird also becomes the target of the hunters. Across the vast savanna, every source of food has value. This reflects very clearly how the Hadza have adapted to nature over thousands of years. They do not hunt in order to store large amounts of food. Instead, they make use of whatever nature provides throughout their journey of survival.
That was picked from one of the Tatoga's farms.
As the sun slowly sinks lower, the hunters return to camp carrying what they gathered during the day. Smoke already rises from the open area where the Hadza huts are scattered across the savanna. Some people quickly begin preparing the meat while small cooking fires are lit one by one. For the Hadza, the fire is not only a place for cooking. It is the center of community life after a long day moving through nature. Once the food is ready, everyone gathers around the fire to share portions. From elders and children to those who did not directly participate in the hunt, everyone receives a share of the meal. In such a harsh natural environment, sharing food has become an essential part of how the Hadza community has survived for generations. After eating, people continue sitting around the fire, talking while darkness slowly spreads across the savanna. There are no screens, no machine noise, only the sound of fire crackling and stories passed from one generation to the next. Looking at the Hadza way of life, we can see a striking contrast with the modern world today. While humanity grows increasingly dependent on technology and complex systems for survival, the Hadza still live through experience, survival skills, and deep understanding of nature. From carefully hunting a venomous snake, finding honey inside tree trunks, to making use of even the smallest prey along the way, everything reflects how humans once survived before the modern world existed. And perhaps the most remarkable thing the Hadza have managed to preserve across the vast savanna is the close connection between people and nature, something modern society is gradually losing over time.